Okay, welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, we have a lot of gaming content here, especially MMORPGs, and I'm on one right now. I've decided to do the stupid thing of going back to old MMORPGs that I've played before in the past, just to mess with them, just to see what's going on, just to see how they're holding up for 2021, especially since most of the MMORPGs that we're going to see are always going to be upcoming or the big ones, and I think people are tired of seeing that, so I decided to do this to see, you know, if it resonates with anybody, if anybody likes this. We'll just be playing through the game a bit. If you guys want a part 2, let me know, but from now on, let's get in. Okay, so February, by the way, we're still in February, and these are still Christmas decorations. So we're gonna select the world. I just changed the audio, and that part is probably not gonna make it into the video because it was loud as hell in here. We're gonna pick PvP because mama ain't raised no. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So I did make a character. I'm gonna cancel the deletion on the character because apparently it's not instant. So I am gonna show you the character creation screen very quickly. There's a warrior class, a paladin class, rifle, gunner. These are 2 ranged, a warlock and a cleric. This game came out in 2009, by the way, and there's still no new class. However, the level cap is something like 99 right now, as I believe. Back then, being a level 70 used to be great. So we're gonna go in now and we're gonna see what's happened, what's changed, what's the population like, what are things going on, and this still runs like donuts. Okay, I don't even know how to speak to. Okay, it's yep, a new world. Right, well, I've already buggered something. Oh, they give me a box. Okay, so you get a bunch of stuff here. Okay, there's ammo. Level. Okay, I just opened something that I should not. Okay, we're spare bag. We're using everything. It doesn't matter. We're using this too. It doesn't matter. We're using this. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna. God damn! Did I press paladin? Okay, that was a mistake. Hang on. Well, apparently it's giving me overpowered gear, like off the get-go. Because apparently that's how the game works now. These need to go in the trash or something, because I'm not a paladin. I don't know why they would give you all the boxes off of one character, but I guess that's something they do now. Level 10 box, okay. So, there's a lot of random stuff here. Where is our character menu? Here, we have bullets. Everything's fine, everything's okay, nothing's imploded. We're alright. Yep, quest, repeatable. We're not doing repeatables. Enjoy your time in this land. Listen to this is already going terribly. Okay, so this game also has something called a pran system. That's a daily. A Halloween daily? We're in February. We're in February. I swear I've played this before. Okay, so oh yeah, I remember they had an auto move thing. But oh, we're already level 2.
Have a great day.
I swear to God, I'm editing so much of this out, like just the random confusion. We're gonna skip most of the garbage quests, and we're gonna move in this like square motion. Yeah, the movement is trash. This game is so old even that I can't even. Yep. Navigation service not available for this quest. Well, I do see the lady anyway.
Welcome to my store.
As you can see, this bit of the UI is all kinds of ruined. So you've got a lot of random skills you get that we can't see any of. You know, maybe I should have done this on like an actual high-level character. I would be in a different situation here. You know, back in the day, this game was really fun and really interesting because it had a lot of random PvP that would really affect the world, and it had a random PvP system that would affect the world. The thing is about this game, even though it had the fun PvP system, the combat was never that great. But 2009 is 2009, am I right? So the cool thing about AIKA when it comes to the PvP system is that it would consistently affect the world. You would be able to play through the game as, you know, anything you wanted, but there was always like a judicial system, a jury system, some other stuff like that would always be involved. You could, you know, be political and become the Lord Marshal, and it would give you buffs. There were Archon guilds. There's these little things you fight over called relics, and they affect your nation. They literally give your nation buffs. You wanted a 10% HP buff and some other nation had it, you had to go invade their nation. It was basically PvP that was happening in every single direction. And it was actually really fun to do back then, especially. In groups, coordinated, and the classes worked together, you know? And it was fun. It was genuinely fun. Okay, he wants me to hunt young boars. Apparently, if I would shut my mouth, I would know that. But I can't do that. So there was a way to auto animation cancel, and it was in this game. If you remember old school MMOs, there's always a way to make something better than what it is. Wait, I did hunt the young boar. How many of these did you want, my dude? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So in this game, there was auto animation canceling, right? And the auto animation canceling was like a way to make things more interesting. I used to be able to do it a lot. I don't really do it anymore, and I'm not going to do it for this video because I am not tryharding for some random PvP. Right, so where the hell do I need to go? I press the location button and it tells me nothing. I mean, that's flashing, but that doesn't tell me anything either. Large rock past the Gara fields to the east. Alright. There he is. So it's... the questing system in this game, it really does suck. I'm gonna be real with you. It's legitimately not fun. I've already out-leveled these mobs. You know, what worries me is I killed 3 boars and I'm level 7. I should not be level 7. I should be about level 3. But I guess the game wants me to catch up.
That assault was intense.
That assault was indeed intense. The voice acting is on par. Bar none.
One day.
Yep, you will join the front line one day. Absolutely. So, gotta avenge this dude. Now, you see this gear, right? It gives you 7 physical defense, 8 magic. You know, you see this 9 over here. And then you see the gear they give you at the start of the game. You've got literally an absurd amount of defense, an absurd amount of damage. They want you to level. They are boosting you up to level. I don't know if I should be doing these red quests, but I'm gonna do them. The music randomly changes. So I mean, I actually like the soundtrack of this game. I always have. It's always been fun to me. Going into old school MMOs like this has always been, you know, an interesting endeavor every now and again. I always get that urge to play games like AIKA, Aeon, Rohan, where the old days of PvP were. And some of my friends would be saying something along the lines of, Mal, stop living in the past. But unfortunately, that's not something I can change. I'm living in the past, and that's just the way it is. Hell, am I going? Where is this auto path taking me? Okay, the auto path is on crack. So let's move normally, I guess. We're going this way. So we've read none of this, and we will continue reading none of this, because who cares about the story in an MMO from 2009? I sure don't. I don't know if you guys do. As I said, they do have some lore, and they do have some extra bits that become interesting. You know, the first time you actually play through the game, you might encounter some of them. But with the atrocious level of voice acting, the atrocious level of actually, you know... yeah, just everything is kind of... okay, that's weird. Everything's kind of atrocious or skippable in a way where it's so easy to just ignore. So I'm on like 2 of these main quests. I'm just gonna do the plot quests because it seems like I am going to blast through these levels. So this mutated boar, right, was a mini boss back in the day. And it was a mini boss that you could do, you know, at low level, but it was an annoying mini boss. And you know what happens with the gear they give you? You fucking one-shot it. You're meant to fly through the game. Like, I remember doing a bunch of quests that involved all of this. That is not the case anymore. You just fly through the game, and what is left of it? You just go. There is no button but go. Like, literally most of this is just running. Which, you know, if you know, back in the day, some MMOs used this as a way to kill time. You would just run around like a headless chicken. looking for something or someone to tell you what to do. That hasn't changed in AIKA, it seems, since 2009, so I am left to amuse myself, and I do not find myself that amusing.
True power comes from a clear mind.
Alright, thank you for the words of wisdom. So, this is the place where you get skills for specific skill masters. This guy is the warrior guy, as you can see. It's a bunch of skills here. Spellcaster, and then scout. So the scout classes right here. Hollow point, always gonna get this skill. I always used to get this skill. Absolute brilliant skill. Leg shot used to be a skill I would use for grinding, right? Because, you know, you would want to slow the mobs as they're coming to you. I don't think I'm gonna have that problem, like, ever again. Especially with the way the game is right now. I don't think I'm ever gonna have that issue. We haven't got to the pran part of the game yet, somehow. I was always supposed to get a pran, which is this little fairy thing that does stuff for you and does stuff with you and evolves over time and stuff and turns into this. It's like having your own little like fairy pet. The really cool thing about the pran system is that it had a personality, and the personality would like change based on certain things. Like it would ask you questions throughout the day, and you would answer the question with something like a yes or a no, or you know, it would be like, hey, do you want this apple, or some weird stuff, and you'd get, you know, options, dialogue options, and if you picked certain ones over a certain period of time, when it would evolve, it would change its attitude. It would be like either one of those like rebellious ones. Like it's like having your own little Powerpuff Girl, man. Like you just pick something and you go, you know. It's really nice being back in AIKA, you know, getting those memories back. The game plays terribly, and it's aged horribly. And as you can see, the population is great, and it's vast, and there's nothing around me. There's not a soul doing any quests. There's the small amount of players that still do play the game. And if I remember correctly, a lot of players went to a private server for AIKA. Something along the lines of, I think it was called AIKA Reborn, where they basically have their own little private, you know, thing going on where they've avoided a lot of the issues that current AIKA has. So we do get the pran quest. We're gonna go to the pran station. But yeah, apparently when the publishing rights were handed over to a different company, T3, I think, from like G Potato or G Tomato or whatever, a lot of issues kept happening, and a lot of people weren't happy with it. They switched, they just completely went, we're not playing this game anymore, we're gonna go to a private server. And that's what happened, and I think that private server is still alive. But don't quote me on that. Okay, so it's been 21 minutes and I've already managed to get myself stuck. I've done this. I've managed to get myself stuck. I cannot leave this spot. Alright, so we're back from being stuck. Interesting, right? Okay, so the pran system. If there's anything AIKA does correctly, by the way, I'm just gonna say this now, it's the immersion. If you remember old school MMORPGs, one of the biggest things they did is they immersed you in the game. Whether that was like cool looking armor or a specific system that would be text based, like as I said, the pran, doing something and actually affecting the world. They would innovate, they would try, they would definitely try. And that innovation seems to be missing in a lot of the current MMORPGs. I mean, how many MMOs even have bullets or ammo anymore? Even Aeon removed the arrows from ranger classes. And I mean, it was annoying, but to a point it was immersive. As you can see here, there's a bunch of people that are sitting here in higher level stuff. Look at these guys, look at them. Like, look at that sword. That's a beauty. I've seen one. And you got this rifleman over here with whatever kind of gun that is. Okay, it's a double barrel. It looks pretty good. I forgot you can pick these, right? You can pick a water pran, a fire pran, an air pran. They all have different certain things. Certain things are defensive, certain things are offensive. Depends on what class you're playing, and it actually assists in one way or another. I don't remember what they do, so I just picked one. Ah yes, you need to feed prans. Forgot about that. Okay, so we've got our little fairy child. We're gonna name it Pranzilla. Invalid name. Alright, so I have a little Pran now. To access the Pran menu, you press P. You see the Pran, you see its devotion. Now you see, as I said, these things matter. The devotion to you, its personality is currently cute, and it's only level 1. Its personality will change in time, it will grow, it will change, it will become different. It will become cool. So Pran skills, these are interesting. So this is the offensive Pran. At some point, I'm going to be able to use these skills. Yep, she can decline my requests. You see that? She has her own little personality. It's like having your own child that runs around with you as you kill monsters and do other stuff and actually doesn't... Like, it's literally like raising a child. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't have any child raising experience. I've dug a hole I cannot get out of. I'm just saying, if I had to, you know, if it's like raising a child in an MMORPG to the best of their ability in 2009. You tell them things, you tell them what's good, what's bad, what you believe the world to be, you know, whenever they ask questions. You feed them, you take care of them, and either they like you. Still a lot of running around, you see. And in the bottom right there, you can see the Pran skills. That's where you can hotkey some of them. See, if your Pran likes you, and you actually, you know, build a relationship, some sort of rapport with your Pran, she'll do stuff for you without you needing to ask or say anything. Honestly, it baffles me how good this gear is, that they just throw this gear at me. Like, this is ridiculously good for the standards of the game. Like, as I showed you, the NPC gear that they gave you at the start was like complete garbage compared to this. Like, I am literally a walking machine now. There is nothing that can stop me. I cannot die. It's physically impossible for me to do all these quests and die. I can stand there and just take the damage and not die. There is no challenge here anymore. Like, look at this. You just shoot, and if something dies, and you shoot, and something dies, and you shoot, and something... Yep. Oh, I forgot about that. Your Pran leeches a bit of your XP as things go along. I remember that skill being an incredible snipe skill. We're not going to be needing to snipe mobs anytime soon, are we? The level 10 thing is a godsend. Would you like to register for this nation? Yeah, I'll do it. So I'm part of a nation now. Being part of a nation is a huge part of the game. It facilitates the PvP system where you actually have to get stuff from other nations. And, you know, it seems like look at these nation buffs. The current nation buff we have is a Holy Sword, which is physical attack increased by 13%. This applies to everybody under your banner. Usually there's like 6 or 7 of these, or like 8 of them, or 9, depending on how good your nation is. It seems I've joined a dead nation, because we only have one. Either that or everybody's asleep and it's not raiding time yet. But what you do is you use a rift. You go into another player's world and you go to these certain places that, like you see this up here, it says Guardstone. That Guardstone is around in every map. These Guardstones are where you put specific relics, I believe, if I remember correctly. And those relics are these nation buffs. Those nation buffs stay there until someone comes and raids them, or, you know, certain things like that. And that is where a big part of the PvP of the game comes from. The game has, you know, sort of moved in a direction of we're going to give you free everything. And that seems to be a way to facilitate new players into the game without doing too much in the game. They're not increasing the XP that much. They're giving you XP increases. They're giving you free gear. They're giving you a way to blast through the game. They're giving you move speed potions so you can move faster, because as I said, there's a lot of running and there's a lot of catching up to do if you were to play the game. I don't think it would be incredibly difficult to get gear to a certain degree, but there is a level of pay to win, I think, still available within the game. You can get past it. Like, I got a lot of gear when I was playing the game, and getting level 70 was a big thing. You can get past it. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue there, but it's something to be aware of. I can definitely see a new player coming into the game and being confused because you get insane gear out of nowhere, you one-shot everything, and you out-level quests like it's your business. You don't know what's going on. You don't know whether you need to go grind somewhere. You don't know what the next, thing you need to do is, where you need to actually go, whether you even need to quest. Probably end up looking up a guide and then continue playing the game. But that kind of diminishes the point, doesn't it? I mean, I get that there are guides and guides are okay and efficient. But if you go into one of these old MMOs where a lot of the fun comes from adventuring and finding things out, wouldn't that kind of ruin some of it? Oh look, so these characters, these mobs are this colored name, orange, because they're way higher level than me. And guess what? They're still dying. With no effort whatsoever. If anybody's actually played this game to, end game and enjoyed it, let me know. Like, I want to know what your experience was like. Because I remember my experience, and I remember this current experience, and I'm telling you, nostalgia is definitely a factor in why I've re-downloaded the game. But as I'm playing through it, I am regretting every choice I ever made. So, in closing, nostalgia aside, I kept playing the game for a couple hours, even went on an old account of mine and was testing some stuff out. As it turns out, the game isn't really that alive population-wise. I would definitely not recommend it to a new player. The auto-pathing is broken, there's still so many bugs within the game feels clunky both in movement and in combat, and not really in good shape. However, the atmosphere and soundtrack are still just as good as I remember, and that's AIKA in 2021 for all you folks. I enjoyed my time playing this game years ago, being in guilds, talking to Lord Marshals, and it's given me a refreshing perspective on MMORPGs and why I love them so much. Back in these days, there were so many political issues going on within games, people fighting over the relics, organizing mass PvP, cliques formed and friendships died, alliances between different nations. It was such a live and active world. Innovation was key back in these days when it came to MMORPGs, and it's part of the reason why old school RuneScape is still a thing that people love. If we look at MMORPG systems today, where is the complexity and innovation? It's missing, because most of the work goes into making systems that are rather simple or shallow but effective. BDO being a big example of this. The game is shallow with a shallow system, but it's carried by its combat, graphics, and generally unchallenged lawlessness of a grindcore MMORPG. BDO is an MMORPG that many people love and some hate, but what they do right is what's holding the game up. Games like AIKA were around during a time where doing something different, even if it was buggy and interesting, was a big step in the MMORPG progress and immersiveness of that general genre and world. I just hope we get to a game soon that includes complex and cool systems like the Marshal system of AIKA or the Pran system or something similar that genuinely makes the game interesting and feel alive, but also with a combat style of games like Black Desert Online or other combat-focused MMOs. So, as I said, AIKA honestly does a lot to be beginner-friendly without actually changing the system like Aeon did. AIKA still forces you to play the game like normal, just go through everything, but it gives you gear and experience boosts for you to catch up. It's a lazy way of doing it, but it definitely helps the game. And I mean, as I said, it hasn't held up well, even though it was released in 2009. I definitely still would not recommend it, unfortunately, up to this day. Unless you want to go into the game looking for the private server experience, which I suppose is always an option. Unfortunately, we are still stuck to the big MMORPGs at the moment, but boredom and adventure seeking brings us to the shores of nostalgia in games like AIKA. So what game should I adventure in and discover next? Would you like to see me continue in AIKA at all? I'm happy to go back to all the way to endgame if really necessary and test out differences, but it's up to you guys, the viewers. Let me know, have you played AIKA or want to? Or anything else? All comments are welcome. I'm doing an MMORPG podcast soon too, by the way. I'm gonna get on a regular streaming schedule soon as my curtains are done and I don't have a horrible background. That will be joined with a face reveal, I swear. Join the discussion if you do want to get involved in a podcast about MMORPGs and be kept up to date about those. I also, plan on doing a lot of things involving MMORPGs and other games, so not just MMOs, but let me know what you want to see. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. MMORPG content coming soon, including news, updates, and general gameplay. If you want to support me, I will also be streaming on Twitch and have a Discord where I'll be setting up channels for specific MMORPGs and other games to discuss and keep people up to date. My socials are in the description down below, and with that, I've been Malicious, and this has been a pleasure.